90% of relationships before the age of 30 end in heartbreak. It's something that nearly everyone goes through, but we're never taught how to get through it. Why do some people thrive after a relationship breakdown, while other people struggle for months or years? If you're watching this video, chances are you're still thinking about someone from your past and you're now wanting to utilize that energy to help become the best version of you. So in this video, we're going over why breakups happen, why do they hurt so much, how can you detach your feelings from an ex-partner, how can you use your breakup as the greatest launch pad for your personal development, how to set yourself up for future relationships, and also stick around to the end of the video where you'll be receiving a free gift. This topic is so important to me because my breakup was the biggest turning point in my life. Coming out of a 7-year relationship at the age of 24, I felt completely lost in life. All these emotions and feelings started coming up. I was feeling confused, I was feeling sad, I was feeling hurt. I was even feeling grief for an imagined future that'll never come to be. Feeling like I'd never have a connection as deep with anyone else. I wrapped my identity in that relationship so much, so when that relationship ended, I had no idea who I was anymore. Maybe you relate to those feelings, and I promise you're not alone. And you too can turn your breakup into the greatest turning point in your life. The first step is to realize how many people go through the same thing. I hear it so often. People getting together when they're in their late teens or early 20s. They stay together till their mid 20s, and then they end up growing apart. They end up separating. This leaves them with a bit of an existential crisis. They don't know who they are anymore, they don't know if they'll ever be happy anymore, and they start questioning everything in their life. I see heartbreak as such a pivotal moment in someone's life. That's why I'm so excited to help you get through this and build a life you actually love. Because when you can let go of the feelings of the past, there's a whole beautiful future waiting for you. So let's cover why breakups happen in the first place. There are obvious things like poor communication, loss of intimacy, bad at conflict resolution, cheating, getting bored, not having a solid friendship, the loss of polarity, which is outside the realms of this video, but you'll find out more about that in the free gift at the end. The most common reason for a breakup is actually personal development. Within a relationship, you're two very complex and unique beings with different pasts, different experiences, as well as different beliefs, values, insecurities, goals, and so much more. Many people think that two people in a relationship can be one unit going through this life journey together, but that's pretty much impossible given how complex the human mind is. More so, you're two separate beings going through life side by side. The most common thing is two individuals start growing apart. They start making sacrifices for each other, but after a while, the gap becomes so big that it puts such a strain on the relationship because they know there's something inside them that's pulling them in two different directions, and they try and put this off for so long, making sacrifices, but after a while, they become more and more upset because they're moving further and further away from the person they actually are. Can you see how natural a breakup is? Because you're two separate people growing, and it's so common for people to grow apart. Many people sabotage their own personal growth. They don't want to pursue their goals, they don't want to pursue their dreams because they worry that'll pull them away from their partner and then they'll have to go through a breakup. If you're dampening your potential within a relationship, this will slowly rot the relationship because you'll start to build up resentment for the other person because you know they're holding you back, but you're too scared to let go of them and actually pursue what you want. Next, let's talk about why breakups hurt so much. So like I mentioned earlier, when two people are together, they start constructing an imaginary future together. So they start talking about kids, they start talking about marriage, they start talking about buying a house or traveling. So when there's two people together, they're building those images in their head. They're getting those feelings in their body like they're already experiencing it. And when you break up, that future will never come to be, so you feel a grief in your body. So you're watching this video, and maybe some of those feelings are still there towards the next partner, and you feel a pull to want to return to the crime scene. You want to go back and visit that person. You want to see that person. You want to relieve these horrible feelings you have in your body. The fact that one person can take away all the discomfort that you're feeling in your body is a really strong motivation for you to want to see him or see her again. Just simply having digital contact with that person or being in the same room as that person can alleviate all the feelings of separation anxiety you have in your body. So just know that's natural if that's coming up for you. Let's get into the tips of overcoming your breakup. Then you can decide whether returning to the crime scene is a good choice or not. Number 1, was it the right decision? If you're an outside person looking at your relationship, what advice would you give yourself? Did that relationship serve you? Did that person treat you like royalty or did they treat you like the enemy? Did your futures actually align together? All emotions aside, logically, was breaking up the right decision? If you can confidently say yes to those previous questions, then that's step number 1 complete. But if you're still feeling uncertainty in your body of whether it's the right decision or not, just have faith that if it was meant to be, it will work out. But right now, it's really important that you create distance so you can actually step back and make sure you're making the right decision. And if it was them that made the final decision about breaking up, then it's out of your control. The best thing you can do right now is to focus on you, because you wouldn't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you, right? Tip number 2 is to build a strong support network. The pitfall a lot of people fall into is making their partner their whole world. They shut off any other relationships in their life. They only spend time with their partner. So when that relationship breaks down, it feels like you've got no one else to turn to. But have faith that your true friends will start to reveal themselves when you go through these hard times. Make sure you open up to your friends around you. This will rekindle so many connections in your life. Number 3 is to decide to do better for yourself. I remember when I went through my breakup, I didn't even feel like I wanted to be happy again. All I wanted to do is isolate myself and be sad. That's pretty fucked up, right? All I wanted was the comfort of being sad and being in my emotions. But I hear so many people going through the same thing. So number 3 is to actually decide to be happy. Actually decide to fill up your own cup. Actually decide to want to do better for yourself. So start going to the gym, start eating healthy, start making social interactions, start working on your mindset. Even if you don't feel like it right now, make sure you do it. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings in these situations. I know what you're thinking, decide to be happy, like that's going to solve my problems. It's so simple, it's so obvious, but it's so important. Actually, you making the decision to do better for yourself will change your life. Number 4 is to start getting your needs met in other ways. And I don't mean sleeping around with other people just to get back at them. This will not fulfill you, I promise. I mean, if you're feeling the need for physical touch, start seeking that from your friends or your family rather than from that old relationship. Or if you need an emotional intimacy, start having deeper conversations with the people around you. Or if you're needing someone to spend time with, just ask. Because think about it, if you're missing your ex-partner, it's not the person, it's what that person did for you. So if you can fulfill those needs in other areas, slowly you'll start to detach yourself from your ex-partner because all your needs will be fulfilled elsewhere. Number 5, don't be ashamed if you do return to the scene of the crime. Obviously, it's better not to re-establish contact with your ex-partner, but if you do, don't beat yourself up about it. It's so important to be compassionate with yourself in these times because the more you beat yourself up, the worse you'll feel. The worse you'll feel, the more you want to get back to the false security of your ex-partner. Number 6 is to actually feel your emotions. The mistake I made and I see so many other people make is covering up their emotions with constant distractions. Now everyone has their favorite flavor of distraction, whether it's porn, whether it's gambling, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's sleeping around, whether it's scrolling social media for endless hours. It's so important to recognize when you're using these things as a coping mechanism. When you're using these things to push down all your feelings, when you butt off your feelings, all you're doing is delaying them and they're going to show up in other areas of your life. Number 7 is to get a reality check. Recognize that when you get flooded with these emotions of your ex-partner, these positive emotions started coming up, it's the part of you that feels sad and wants reassurance. That's the only part that's missing the positive things. And when your brain does that, it cuts out all the negative experiences with your partner and only sees the positive. And if you keep going back for that reassurance, you'll keep recreating the same pain in your life. So again, have that self-awareness of looking at yourself from an outside perspective. Was the breakup a right decision? What am I actually feeling? Is this a logical decision? Or is this my emotional brain just missing the person? It's so important to realize the reality of the relationship rather than looking through rose-tinted glasses and only seeing the good stuff. Number 8, this too shall pass. Have faith that whatever feelings you're going through right now, this too shall pass. People go through breakups and come out way better the other side. And that is how you slowly but surely begin to detach yourself from the feelings and the memories of your ex-partner and instead use that breakup as a launch pad for your personal growth. You used to have all this time and energy to go towards your ex-partner, and now your ex-partner isn't there, you still have all this time and energy, and it's what you decide to do with it that makes a difference. Are you going to use it for self-destructive behaviors like scrolling social media, getting drunk, doing drugs, smoking, gambling? Or are you going to actually use it to become the best version of you? Are you going to start going to the gym? Are you going to start eating healthy? Are you going to start building a business? Are you going to start working on your mindset? What you do with that energy is what makes a difference. Actually become a high value person so you can fully show up in your future relationships. And to help you out with that, I got a free gift. So over the last few years, I've coached thousands of people, impacted millions online, and invested over $50,000 in my own personal development. And what I learned is your knowledge around relationships and your personal development is the biggest key for your success. And it gets to be simple. You get to move through this breakup and become the best version of you. So I've condensed all this information into a simple free ebook that you can grab in the description right now. If you're wanting to become a high value person so you can attract a high value person, then you must develop your knowledge around relationships. And that's exactly what this ebook does. So grab it in the first link in the description. I'm super excited for you to grab it and dive deeper into the topic of mastering your relationships. Congratulations for watching this video. Hit that subscribe button with weekly videos on all things relationships and becoming the best version of you. I'll see you next week.